07. She's been my buddy for a long time. I know, right? Hold him over to that's nothing.
Hi, Colonel Custer. Good, ma'am. How are you? It's good to see you. Oh, he's yelling at me. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats. The ceremony will begin in a moment. Good morning. On behalf of the 2nd Bomb Wing, welcome to Barksdale Air Force Base and the 2nd Comptroller Squadron Change of Command Ceremony. I am Airman First Class Benjamin Longer, and I will be your narrator for today's ceremony. First, some comments on military protocol and ceremony etiquette. During the ceremony, you will be given cues on when to stand and be seated at the appropriate times. During the playing of the national anthem, military members should stand at the position of attention and not render a salute. We invite our civilian guests to join us in honoring our nation by standing and placing your right hand over your heart. Thank you. Additionally, all military personnel should stand at the position of attention during the presentation of the Meritorious Service Medal and the Change of Command ceremony. Finally, we request all electronic devices be turned off or set to vibrate for the duration of today's ceremony. Thank you. During today's ceremony, Colonel Michael Miller will transfer command to the 2nd Comptroller Squadron from Lieutenant Colonel Peter Talley to Lieutenant Colonel Nicholas Peer. The change of command is an official, formal, and brief ceremony deeply rooted in military tradition. The primary purpose of a change of command is to allow subordinates the opportunity to witness the formality of command change from one officer to another. The ceremony itself is simple and direct. The guidon exchange represents the transfer of responsibility, authority, and accountability for the mission, airmen, and families of the squadron. The COVID-19 situation presents us with unique challenges. However, our goal is to continue the change of command tradition while recognizing the constraints of the world in which we are now operating. The presiding officer for today's ceremony is Colonel Michael A. Miller, Commander, 2nd Bomb Wing. We are honored to have many special guests in attendance. Please hold your applause until the guests are all recognized. Spouse, 2nd Bomb Wing Commander, Mrs. Monica Miller. Vice Commander, 2nd Bomb Wing, Colonel Scott Weiermuller. Command Chief, 2nd Bomb Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Josh Swanger. Executive Director, Air Force Global Strike Command, Financial Management, Dr. Andrew Wallen. And representing the 307th Wing Financial Management, Mrs. Taryn Montgomery. We extend a warm welcome to Lieutenant Colonel Talley's family. Spouse, Amanda Talley. Daughter, Bridget. And sons, Peter and J.D. We also welcome Lieutenant Colonel Peer's family. His spouse, Stephanie Peer. Daughter, Cora. And sons, Ian and Owen. Father and mother-in-law, William and Hazel Pesca. Finally, we welcome all commanders, directors, squadron commanders, chiefs, spouses, friends, and members of the 2nd Comptroller Squadron. Team Barksdale, our community partners, and everyone joining us on social media. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the national anthem and the invocation by Chaplain Walker. The 2nd Bomb Wing Chaplain, Lieutenant Colonel Walker, will deliver the invocation.
Please join me for a moment of prayer or meditation. Well, first of all, Lord, thanks for the unsung heroes who make sure we have the bucks for the bang, appropriations for bomber gas, or airman pay. Thank you for abiding with and giving us these wonderful, intelligent, quirky, fun women and men in the 2nd Comptroller Squadron, who you love on all year long, not just late September. And OMG, please take that literally, Lord, was it really that long ago I was thanking you for Jason and asking a blessing on Pete? Well, here we go again. Thanks, Lord, for Lieutenant Colonel Talley and the whole package. With him, this wing got a check signer who said, we can make that happen, more than any banker I ever met. With him, we got a commander who loved to huddle motivate his team more than any coach I ever saw. With him, we got a faithful and faith-filled soul who attended chapel services more than any wing chaplain I ever saw. He is that kind of commander who pulls his chaplain aside to ask how Airman so-and-so or Miss Somebody is doing because he knew, he worried, he cared. Of my friend, I can only ask you this, oh guider of good guys, don't change a thing. But do go with him and Team Tally. May Bridget, Peter, and JD find lots of new friends and discoveries. May Amanda explore new creative combat-related roller sports other than driving on the Beltway. And may Pete make many new friends who bring lots of bottles of 20-year-old single malt to make every fellowship enlightening and kill any COVIDs in the system. Now, oh anointer of leaders, keep this tradition of awesome succession perpetual for us as we welcome Lieutenant Colonel Peer and his family. You know, the day you introduced us, he shook my hand, and with a winning grin at a socially distanced staff meeting, I'm like, there's something about this guy I think we're all gonna love. Then I found out it was because he's from Texas. Bless our coffers, Lord, and those who administer them wisely. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Walker. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The Commander, 2nd Bomb Wing, Colonel Michael Miller.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you. All right, so we're working here. As you all know, I hate podiums, and I like to wander around when I talk, so beware. So first of all, I want to welcome all our distinguished guests over here, especially from Glow Strike and the 307. Thanks for being here. And all commanders, group commanders, squadron commanders that are with us today, thanks for being here. Amanda and Team Tally, thanks for being here. This is awesome. I know you guys are in the middle of your move and you flew back for this, so I'm glad you made it back for this. This is awesome. And of course, we're going to welcome to Pier Stephanie and her client. It's great to have you part of Team Barksdale, so we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And thanks to the 2nd Comptroller Squadron. How y'all doing today? Oh, come on. How y'all doing today? Yeah. No bucks? Yeah. All right. You're awake now. Good, 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 good. So this is a happy day and a sad day. Happy day that we get to welcome some new blood into the CPTS, and a sad day that we're saying goodbye, not forever, just a little so long, to Pete Talley, because I'm sure we're going to see bigger and better things from him. My wife will tell you, my lovely wife, Monica, will tell you, she's been doing the books in our household for probably about 10 or 15 years now. At some point in our marriage, I figured out it is the best thing, not only financially, but also for my marriage, to let her do the finances. As a wing commander with a wing commander budget of about $68 million on an annual basis, and an overall budget for this Air Force base of about $210 million a year, I knew it was smart to leave the budget and the checkbook to somebody who knew what the hell he was doing, and that was Mr. Pete Talley. So this guy here, and let's talk specifically about the efforts of the Comptroller Squadron, right? You're exactly right. No bucks, no boom. Think about just the 2 years that I've been in command. Think about what you've accomplished, all right? Let's start with the venue that we're in right here. I was in command maybe a week or so. I think you were in command like an hour or so. And the 4-star general at the time said, wouldn't it be great if you renovated this entire hall in 3 weeks? At which Pete and the other 2/3 of what I call the holy trinity of getting stuff done, and that's my comptroller, my CE, and my contracting squadrons. They are the holy trinity of getting stuff done on an Air Force base. And I'll tell you what, in 3 weeks, Pete Talley not only funded this, but the other 2 elements of that trinity got this done, and we got this beautiful now venue to host events such as this. $350,000, and 3 weeks later, they were able to renovate this building. That was just our first 3 weeks in command. But after that, this Comptroller Squadron just kept raising the bar and knocking it out of the park. Let's just start with the mission. Think about it, folks. Think how many bomber task forces that we have put out the door that could not have gotten out the door without funding. At least 5 in the last 15 months, and we got 2 more on the horizon coming up. It was the Comptroller Squadron that worked with our Global Strike MAGCOM to ensure, because those funds came from our wing initially to get that done. And if we couldn't get those guys out the door to go do the mission, think about it. Iran, twice. We deterred Iran with Bomber Task Force, partnered with UCOM a couple times, and partnered with PACOM I don't know how many times. We can't do that without funding, and that's what you guys do. Look around the base at everything that you all have done. You guys are in the midst right now of producing what I'm going to call the Barksdale Recreational Facility out on the East Res. You guys came up, found the dollars, you're working with contracting and CE, and you're getting that done to make life better for families and airmen on this installation. You made the first ever B-52 Data Link Center for $1.4 million, the first ever B-52 Data Link Center possible. And that is so important for this aircraft that flies up to 36 hours at a time to have beyond line of sight data link communications with them in order to get the mission done. You guys funded that and made that happen. I could go on and on and on about how you've impacted the mission, how you've impacted airmen, and how you've impacted families here at Barksdale. Suffice to say, you guys are making it happen. It's just not no bucks, no bombs. It's no bucks, no quality of life, no Barksdale Air Force Base. So I want to thank, from me to all you in the Comptroller Squadron, thank you for what you do, and thank you for what you do for Barksdale Air Force Base, the airmen and the family. For Pete, the leader of the Comptroller Squadron, I'll tell you what, I've never seen a commander more engaged with this team than I have with Pete Talley. You have been absolutely amazing, brother. Absolutely amazing. And the things that you do with your airmen, not just in the Comptroller Squadron, but throughout the wing staff. He is the commander of the largest Comptroller Squadron in Air Force Global Strike Command, as well as the largest wing staff in Air Force Global Strike Command. He goes beyond above and beyond what I expect from commanders to take care of airmen and families. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, as well as a lot of people thank you from the bottom of the heart. And his leadership was codified, or it was validated in the 2nd Comptroller Squadron being named the Air Force Comptroller Squadron of the Year for Air Force Global Strike Command. The Financial Management Analyst Flight, right, of the year. Was that 2 years in a row or just 1 year in a row? 2 years in a row, the Analyst Flight, best in Air Force Global Strike Command. And our own Pete Talley was the Air Force Global Strike Command Comptroller of the Year, which is a big deal. And so, Pete, man, you've been awesome. You have been an awesome commander, and I appreciate and thank you for everything that you have done. Good job. And we get to now welcome Nick and the Pierre family. Nick Hills, I think from Texas, right? Yeah. And I'll tell you what, yeah, we got all these Texans running around. And he's coming down. He was the commander of the Comptroller Squadron up at my old stomping grounds up at Ellsworth Air Force Base. So he's seen the light. He's transitioning from B-1s to B-52s. He's seen the light. And he's bringing his lovely family with us. So, you know, I want to welcome, well, let me back up here real quick. I forgot to say thank you to the Talley family, to Amanda, or as her, if most of you know this, she's a professional roller derby individual, and most people know her. I don't know if it's professional or not, but you are in my mind. And her fans, she's got a fan club. Her fans, she's Rocker Pepper, or as short Pepper. But Pepper, I want to thank you, Bridget, which I love the name because I got a Bridget. My daughter's name is Bridget, right? And Pete Jr., I'm going to get you a decent jersey to wear someday, a Cardinal jersey, all right? And JD, thanks for being awesome. It was great to see you all in the neighborhood, running around the neighborhood and stopping by to give me high fives on my boat. Yeah, thank you for everything. I wish you all the best of luck out in DC, and I'll be seeing you guys around. I probably won't be a long time out there with you, so we'll get together out there. All right. And to Stephanie and the Pierre family, I want to welcome you all. Owen, Ian, and Cora, I just want to say thank you very much for being a part of our family. Thank you for serving, and we expect great things. We expect great things from Nick. So welcome to Barksdale. And to your mother and father-in-law, Bill and Hazel, thanks for coming out here, making the trip out here, especially amidst all the COVID craziness. Thanks for coming out here and seeing your son-in-law take command. I know it means a lot to him. But Nick, you got some big shoes to fill, and this is a very dynamic and a very challenging wing, and I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy the challenge. And I'll tell you what, if the next wing commander, I'm going to be your wing commander for about 34 days. If the next wing commander can spend money like me, you're going to be busy. You're going to be busy. Yeah. Well, no, not impossible. I can do it. So, my goal was to spend all the money before my change of command. I didn't want to leave any money for the next guy, and I've almost done that. So, but anyway, Nick, I wish you the best, man, and you're going to carry the torch, and you're going to be awesome. All right. So with that. Again, thank you to the Comptroller Squadron for everything you do. You guys rock. I love you all, man. So with that, let's get on with reading of the medal.
Thank you, Colonel Miller. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Colonel Miller presents the Meritorious Service Medal to Lieutenant Colonel Talley. Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of the Meritorious Service Medal to Lieutenant Colonel Peter Talley. Lieutenant Colonel Peter C. Talley distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 2nd Comptroller Squadron, 2nd Bomb Wing, Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana. During this period, Colonel Talley commanded the largest Comptroller Squadron and wing staff in the Air Force Global Strike Command. He oversaw financial service to 34,000 personnel and the formulation and execution of $219 million in support of 48 B-52s, executing multiple bomber task force missions, and deterring Iranian aggression. Under his command, he led the most successful closeout, garnering an additional $9 million, 3 times more than any wing in Air Force Global Strike Command. Additionally, Colonel Talley improved the Defense Travel System reintegration process by deploying subject matter experts, cutting processing time from 4 hours to 15 minutes. Saving 643 man-hours and paying airmen 2 weeks faster. Moreover, his leadership during the coronavirus-19 pandemic synchronized over 50 resource advisors to disperse $40 million remotely, preserving financial services to 9,100 military and civilian personnel. Furthermore, Colonel Talley's leadership propelled the squadron to capture the Air Force's 2018 Financial Analysis Flight of the Year award. His superior performance garnered him Air Force Global Strike Command's 2019 Comptroller of the Year award. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Lieutenant Colonel Talley reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Thank you, Colonel Miller. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Lieutenant Colonel Talley will now make remarks.
All right. My kids told me to speak fast, so I'm going to try and go as quickly as possible. All right. Monica, Colonel Weyermuller, Chief, thank you so much for being here. Dr. Wallen, Taryn, thank you so much for coming and supporting a fellow FMer. You're the Global Strike FM community and the 307th FM. You guys have given our 2nd Comptroller Squadron so much support. We wouldn't have been able to do a fraction of what we've done without you guys, so thank you much. Mark, my 5th and final DS, the best one, without a doubt. I appreciate everything. Wish we would have worked a lot more together, but thank you so much. To group commanders, group chiefs, fellow squadron commanders, wing staff, agency chiefs, thank you so much for being here, for allowing me to be a part of an amazing wing leadership team. It has just been such a great time to work with each and every one of you guys. For those of you who have put on this event, we got Lieutenant Green and Airman Longar from the Comptroller Squadron, and then our protocol team, Sergeant Hackley, Sergeant Johnson, and of course Ms. Jones, who's probably hiding as usual. Thank you so much for capping off this tour with such a memorable event. Buddy, man, awesome invocation as always. The airmen here are so lucky to have you as your wing as the wing chaplain. And I know the Minot Airmen are just going to benefit the same way. So thank you so much for what you said, for being here today, and definitely thank you so much for the last 2 years of your friendship and everything. We're definitely going to keep in touch and continue that on. Love you, brother. Colonel Miller, thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you definitely for the leadership and giving me the latitude to lead as I saw fit. But definitely thank you so much for the trust you put on me. And not so much for the trust in the hundreds of billions of dollars that we spent every single year, but for the trust in our nation's most treasured resources, our airmen, for both the Comptroller Squadron and the wing staff agencies. It's been an honor to serve under you. It's just been so great. Thank you so much for everything. And I will definitely be calling you every time the Dodgers beat the Cardinals. So, yeah.
Which will be off.
It will be so awful. Hey, Nick, man, it's been amazing getting to know you a little bit better over the last week, getting to know you and Stephanie and the family, especially last night. We had a great time. Wish we had some more time. The kids got along so great, and it was awesome seeing that. But to you, Nick, man, I remember sitting in your seat 2 years ago. It flew by. And I remember hearing all the great things that this Comptroller Squadron had done. And I was just sitting there going like, geez, how am I going to top this? But, you know, I quickly realized that, you know, it's exactly what Colonel Miller says. Command is a team sport, and you're inheriting the best team. And Colonel Miller hit it right on the nose, that these accomplishments were definitely not mine. It's these airmen out here, the men and women of the Comptroller Squadron that did everything, and you're just inheriting the best team. Enjoy the next 2 years and take them to the next level, brother. All right, to the 2nd Comptroller Squadron. You know, I racked my brain, and I think the best way to sum up the last 2 years is actually with a conversation I had with my parents 6 months prior to even taking command here. So I called them up excited to tell them, like, hey, I'm taking command of the 2nd Comptroller Squadron out of Barksdale. And then my dad, being the competitive person he is, say, well, if you're second, who's first? And I paused, but after 2 years, I now know how to answer that. You're first. You are the best comptroller squadron, and you've proven it every single day. Your ability to meet every challenge, despite the ops tempo and manning levels, has always been impressive. And then over the last couple months, under this COVID, I told you this multiple times, it is some of the hardest time that I've had in command, and it wasn't because of the workload or anything, but it was because our building was so quiet, and I realized that I drew my energy from all of you. And you guys are just so amazing. It's been great to work under you. And I'm not going to remember the late nights at fiscal year end closeout, or the rushes to go do reintegrations for the countless BTFs, exercises and CVPs and all that stuff. But what I'll remember is all the conversations I had with each and every one of you about your families, the births of your children, and the joy I saw in your eyes during promotions, graduations, and hitting all those amazing milestones in your careers. Thank you so much for those memories and the honor of serving every single one of you. And then finally, to Amanda and the kids, Peter, Jacob, and Bridget, I am so sorry for all the late nights, for coming home when it's dark, but thank you so much for welcoming me home every single time with loud screams of, "Daddy's home!" and then the hugs and kisses to follow. I love each and every one of you, and thank you so much for everything. And then to Amanda, my partner in this journey, you are so amazing. You do everything to support us as a family, even willing to drive up last minute and drop everything in 2 days, and drive up to DC in 2 days just to set up our home. You were just the best partner to have with this. Thank you so much. I know we've had a lot of highs and lows over the last 2 years, and more hospital visits than we ever care to have again. But, man, I swear I practiced this part, but I can't remember half of what I'm going to say. But thank you so much for being my sounding board, my counsel, my advisor, for being there to sharing the joys of everything with me. And definitely thank you for understanding that when I said I'll be home in 5 minutes, it really meant probably 45 and everything. Longer than 45, I know. But thank you so much, and I cannot wait for the rest of our adventure and what's in store for us at DC. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for all the support over the last 2 years, and I can't wait to see each and every one of you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Talley. On behalf of the men and women of the 2nd Comptroller Squadron, I'd like to thank Mrs. Amanda Talley for her support and her outstanding service to the men and women of the Comptroller Squadron and Teams Barksdale. We extend our best wishes to the Talley family as they depart for new adventures in Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the change of command ceremony. The passing of the 2nd Comptroller Guidon symbolizes the passing of authority for the mission and airmen and personnel of the squadron from Lieutenant Colonel Talley to Lieutenant Colonel Peer. The guidon bearer is Master Sergeant Tiffany Peoples, Squadron First Sergeant. Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Headquarters, 2nd Comptroller Squadron, 2nd Bomb Wing, Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana. Special Order Number G, X-Ray 011. Lieutenant Colonel Nicholas A. Peer assumes command of the 2nd Comptroller Squadron from Lieutenant Colonel Peter C. Talley, effective 19 June 2020. Signed, Michael A. Miller, Colonel, United States Air Force, Commander, 2nd Bomb Wing.
Sir, I relinquish command.
Sir, I assume command. Sir, I assume.
pleasure to present the commander, 2nd Comptroller Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Nicholas A. Peer.
Hey, buddy. Good morning, Colonel and Miss Miller, Colonel Wade Mueller, Chief Swanger, Dr. Wallen, group commanders, fellow squadron commanders, directors, chiefs, first sergeants, and of course, the 2nd Comptroller Squadron. I don't want to forget everybody out there in TV land watching this online. Thank you, buddy, Chaplain, for your inspirational words and adding some humor to it. I've heard some great things about you. I'm sad to be seeing you go because I think you're an interesting character already, just in the first week I got to know you. Aaron Longer, thank you for narrating, and Lieutenant Green and everybody that helped put this together under these COVID conditions, yet you found a way to still make it special. I really do appreciate that. Thanks so much. Thank you. Colonel Miller, thank you for your warm welcome and your kind words. Thank you for placing your trust and your confidence in me to lead the 2nd Comptroller Squadron. I'm sure I won't let you down in 34 days. But other than that, I do want to say thank you to the family. Thanks so much. Your love and support has really made this opportunity possible. My wife Stephanie and the children, Cora, Ian, Owen, I love you so much. You send me to work every day with love, and you have a big warm welcome at the end of the day. Thank you, and I love you. Most of you probably don't know this, but we specifically asked for Barksdale as our #1 PCS choice. This is basically a move home for us. It's only a few short hours away from a lot of extended family, actually. Our hometown's just a couple hours away, old friends, and of course, I think one of the biggest things to appreciate is just the food overall, and some very rich culture. We're very much looking forward to making Shreveport our new home and joining the Barksdale Air Force Base family. To the men and women of the award-winning 2nd Comptroller Squadron, I've heard many positive comments about the squadron. Both MAGCOMs brag at you, SAF FM brag on you. Your name is known far and wide. I am so very excited to be a part of your team, and I know that together we'll continue to provide exceptional support to the airmen and the units that power the 2nd Bomb Wing mission. Colonel Talley, thank you for your mentorship. Your leadership to the members of the squadron and the wing have pushed them to even higher levels. Thank you for handing over such a great squadron. I wish you and your family the best of luck in your next adventure. I truly do look forward to being a member of the 2nd Bomb Wing, working with my fellow commanders, the leaders across the base, and the outstanding members of this Comptroller Squadron to ensure our mission is successful. So thank you. Have a happy Juneteenth and have a great Air Force Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Peer. On behalf of the men and women of the 2nd Comptroller Squadron, I would like to welcome Lieutenant Colonel Peer's family, spouse Stephanie, and their children, Cora, Ian, and Owen, to our Comptroller family. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending today's change of command ceremony. This concludes today's ceremony. Please stand for the playing of the Air Force song, the departure of the official party and family. Please remain standing in place until the official party and family have exited through the receiving line. We regret we will not host a reception, but come forward and join us, welcoming Lieutenant Colonel Peer and his family as you depart while observing the social distancing guidelines. Thank you for attending today's change of command ceremony, and have a great day.